adding penalties to your offense during practice will help them become more efficient. Welcome to the Efficiency Podcast, a basketball podcast designed for the professional and elite coaches. I'm Coach Sullivan, assistant college basketball coach at St. John Fisher College. One of the ways that I'm trying to improve our offense and make them more efficient is adding penalties. And I actually wanted to bring a flag and throw it, but we haven't done that yet. But yeah, those kind of penalties that are basically non-negotiables, they cause a problem. Let's get right to them. As we take a look at these penalties, I'm going to go over a few of them using some video, but we have 6, 7 different penalties, non-negotiables. You make this mistake, you can either blow the whistle and be a turnover, or if we're in a point system, you can lose points. 2 drives in a row. You never want to drive, kick out, and then drive into that same area. I believe the EV value's not as high. I think most coaches are aware of that. You want to drive, pass. Sometimes you can and take the shot, which is fine, but you can't drive again. Drive the same way a pass came. This is a big one. You know, when you're receiving a pass, you don't want to go the same direction the pass just came from because there's traffic there. You want to attack the space. Driving into traffic. That's just anytime somebody's dribbling or driving a basketball and they just dribble into somebody or where there's another player or defense that's involved. Clogging the lane. Sometimes our post players are just clogging the lane. You'll find your 5s don't know what to do sometimes and they just naturally post up or they'll stand in the paint. They're clogging that area instead of removing that defender and themselves out of there and getting involved in other ways. Contested shot, pretty self-explanatory. It's just a low PPP value. Again, it's a point per possession or a value. It's basically an inefficient shot. A mid-range shot we know is a very low value shot, so we don't want that. Killing the advantage is a situation where once you have the angle of the advantage and you're passing the ball, moving the ball, and one guy will just hold the ball. That kills the advantage. So let's just take a look at a few of the video clips. This one would be a contested shot. Again, just hand down. Yeah, you may want to shoot that, but I consider this a contested shot. Defense is there. You're trying to get the shot up before his hand gets there, which to me is a contested shot. It's not a catch on the pass. I'm open shot. So I would throw a penalty on that one. Driving into a crowd. Caught the ball. Has a lot of room on the right side. And you can see there's 2 defenders right here. And another defender, obviously, right here. A guy here. So this is driving into a crowd. And also that's another penalty in terms of driving the same way the pass came. So I used 2 and 1, but the pass came from the left side. So you don't drive right back into that space. Killing the advantage, as I mentioned, is holding the ball. So we have an angle. Boom. We're moving the ball or some other parts before that. The defense is recovering. Defense is moving. Defense is moving. Then all of a sudden, we're going to hold the ball. That's killing the advantage. Let's look at that again. So everybody's moving. Moving. Pass the ball. Move the ball. See, there was still action going on, or movement that was still happening with players moving here. Look at defense moving, defense moving, defense moving. And he had the advantage. But this is killing the advantage. Basically, now the defense can get set. Now, all the defense now, I mean, I know I just blew the whistle, but the defense is now set. So you've killed the advantage. You had an angle. You had a reason to attack. Clogging the lane would be the post one. So we're coming down. No reason to be there. You're not posting up. There's nothing that we're running in this certain situation that involves the postman to be there. So he basically has a defender here. There's nothing anybody can do. Well, this guy's cutting, it looks like. Well, the defender's in the lane. He could have drove. The defender's in the lane. You're clogging the lane. So that's an automatic flag or penalty. So I went over a few different penalties that we're using in practice. And again, the way I like to use them is 2 ways. You can do a point system, where maybe if you're scoring, you're getting your points. And then if you want to call a penalty without breaking the flow of play, we just remove the point, but we still have to mention it at some point. And Or depending on what drill you're running, you may just want to blow the whistle, kill it instantly. So it's an instant feedback situation. While the other one, you don't get the feedback right away. And what you're trying to do is break, a lot of players have inherent skills, movements that they've done their whole life. And you're trying to break those skills, their inherent movements. You want to create new movements for them if it was an old habit. This is one of the ways to do it. The instant feedback can be very quick for someone that's constantly doing it because it will force them to slow down and start processing this information. So adding penalties to your offense can help improve its efficiency because it's creating good situations while the other ones are not good situations. And I'm going to tell you one other piece of advice that I have figured out. You have to stay consistent early on with it. If you're not consistent, for example, driving the same way a pass comes, you might have an elite player. Yes, he does that, and he's going to score one time, but maybe out of 3 times, he scores 1 out of 3. But if he would have drove left, maybe he scores 2 out of 3 times. So to me, that's EV value, or expected value, which I've mentioned in some other podcasts. I need to do another breakdown of that. Basically, your success rate is higher if you stick with it. So you want to help form these patterns early on. I'm Coach Sullivan. Work hard and good things will happen. Persevere and stay the course. We'll see you next time.